now we are using, suppose, forget about interactivity, let's just stick with CSS now. So we are using now Bootstrap framework, and our this web page looks perfect in all the browsers, all the desktop browsers. Now you ask your friend, now you are going on a walk and you ask your friend, okay, I made a website, let's look at that. He he doesn't have a desktop, he took out his phone and he saw, oh, so he can only see this much. Sorry, this much. Sorry, he can only see this much at a time. See this cursor? He can only see this much at a time. So you have to scroll right, left, up, down to see your whole page. Correct? So your whole page is flowing out of the window of that mobile this time. And you are scratching your head, what is this happening? I mean, you should have expected that my web page will not fit into this much screen, but you didn't just think about it, correct? How will you fit your page into that screen? It might go like longer in the length, but it should fit in the width. How will you do that? Media response. Correct. Media queries. so there is a way to do this. Add screen, add probably print, printer or print or something like that. Add some other media. So add is how you start a media query with. Second thing is, what is the medium? What is the medium? So for a screen, for printer, for whatever you want. So you write CSS, correct, like this, some property and its value, correct. You write same thing. If you want some property, some CSS, so you know that if my website is being viewed in a mobile, I don't want this this thing, middle column to come side by side into this column, and also I want both of these columns to go down, go below this one. I want this column to just be in the front, nothing else. So it's these two things should go down. So what I will do, I will design a page which will do this. What it will do, I will create a new layout, same wireframe, which will say this is a box, this is another box, this is another box. This box will contain the first column, this box will contain the second column. I will design this layout, I will make the same this thing. I'll visualize my layout, correct? I have the HTML file which still has the corresponding tags, correct? Each box is still there in the HTML, but I need those boxes to look like this, not like this when I'm being viewed on mobile. So what I will do is class. Sorry? Here class of column. Class. Okay. Yes. So what media queries allow you to do is that you want on the type, like screen type of media, if the width of a screen is if width, max width or whatever, you have some variables here, is greater than 400 pixel and less than some say like 600 pixel, then use this CSS. Correct. So you will first write some CSS which will make your page look like that, and you will put that CSS inside this thing. That's it. Correct. So now when you reload this thing on desktop, normal CSS will run. When it finds this condition, this CSS will run. And in the true spirit of CSS, cascading style sheets, like style sheets are cascaded, correct? The later ones trump the earlier ones. That you understand, right? Each one. Yeah, top to bottom. So you have to put this CSS at the end of your code so that it trumps this thing. And even so, the idea is, even if you don't put, this will not harm you because this is different for different different screen size.
Like an if statement.
Yes, like an if statement. Now, you did this thing.
But like you said, if it is placed up,
Yeah.
and like since it's cascades down, now once if something else is there, will it change?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like a return value, right? It won't return.
No, it won't return. So what
has
happens
to be
is,
bottom.
yes. So what happens is, when the screen size goes below into this range, the CSS will run, then later CSS will run, and it will override this. Now we are very happy. Our website is looking nice on mobile. We wrote the same thing for tablets also, for desktop also. This is very nice. Our website is looking nice on everything, on every browser, on every screen. There is a one problem, but what is that problem? Can anybody guess what could be the problem here? No? Okay. Suppose your boss asks you to design 5 of these pages. How much code do you think you will need to write?
5 times
What is the unit? What is the size of one unit? Huh? So here is where the real pain of software engineering comes in. Till here, everybody is fine. Everybody is writing code happy. Anybody, not anybody, but whoever wants to learn code, he can write till this point. After this point, software engineering comes in. What does that mean? That means if you have to write the same thing for 5 different pages, you will be writing a lot of similar things, but slightly different things for different pages, first. Second, even if there is a small bug somewhere, to track that bug, correct? So there is some overlap happening. You might probably think it's happening because of some browser inconsistency. You will try to check those things, those are fine. Then you will probably try to think that maybe I am putting some value wrong somewhere. Now, some value somewhere, if you have 2 or 3 CSS files which are 500, 600, 1000 lines long, and everything looks the same, everything looks background color, background this, everything looks the same. You don't know where the hell are you putting these values. That is where the art of debugging comes, and you use dev inspector tools. So we'll go into browser, you will inspect element, and you will see all the styles related to it, and then you will debug it. But still that's not very maintainable. You are repeating a lot of code and all those things. And when people did it over and over again, so there was no alternative to it, correct? If you had to make all these features into your website, it should look good, every screen on every this thing, you have to do this. There is no alternative. You have to put your head and you have to deal with this maintainability issue. But then when developer did it over and over again, they saw some patterns. Okay, we are repeating certain things. It didn't come to them naturally first. That we have to understand. So what happened when I started learning these things? I thought, what the these guys, they are so amazing. They know all these things, and I cannot even come up with these problems. Like I cannot even think that this could be a problem, correct? And these guys are providing solutions for it. And then when I saw more talks and all those things, I realized that these guys also were like me. They solved these problems many times before they saw the patterns. So you have to realize that this process will happen, and it will happen with you also. You will start seeing patterns and you will start generalizing those solutions. So whatever. So these solutions, the things we are repeating, like media queries we are repeating, correct? So generally what people want so we have divided into 3 columns. Generally, not generally, generally as in most of the times, 95% of the times, people want first column to be shown at the first, then the second column, then third column, and all those things. So it's across the globe, everywhere people want this. People say, why not just do this? We will divide our whole page into grid. Correct? And we will tell people that, bhaiya, if there is this grid, our whole page, it's already boxes, correct? It's not like we are doing something new. It's already boxes, but we divided those boxes into like uniform boxes. So if you need to make some rectangle or something, you will use more than one this thing. So Bootstrap has 12 column grid. So people divide this grid. Why did they divide it? They'll say, okay, if you want something to look something to take like the whole space, put it into like give it a class